Today let's talk about a game with patterns and memorization and hardcore gameplay and super tense moments and awesome rhythm beats, Devil May Cry. Cause yeah, when we think about it, lots of beat 'em up and fighting games actually share mechanics with rhythm games. To be fair, those genres are pretty vast, so it's not that surprising that we can take numerous examples and extract plenty of concepts from them. But nevertheless, I've always found it quite interesting to see the similarities between those games. Look at Just Dance and Bayonetta, for example. In both those games, you have various sequences of moves that you have to memorize, then you have a QTE-like mechanic that has you perform a specific move in a very narrow time window, and the more precise and in sync you are, the more points you'll get. In that sense, the Devil May Cry series is a great example of how beat-em-ups, while completely enjoyable and fun and crazy unwinding, are also a way of developing your memory and your timing. The pretty demanding gameplay kind of expects you to react quickly, to properly engage and deal with enemies. If you wait for too long, you'll probably either get badly hurt or have just too much of a wave of mobs before you to even stand a chance. This obviously means that you need to remember the various combos and repeat them enough to really internalize them. This type of memorization heavily relies on movements. Like in most video games, it's an example of kinesthetic learning. The idea is that rather than having a class teach you something in a textbook, you instead practice the skill and use hands-on exercises as training. Let's be honest, most of DMC players don't just go to the combos page and read them aloud 1,000 times until they've memorized each one. Rather, what I've done, and seen happen most of the time, is that players pick one or two specific combos they want to learn, look them up in the menu, and then fight again and again, primarily using this sequence of moves to get better at it. This makes the info easier to remember, and it helps you integrate this pattern as a whole, a single item of knowledge. This is important because our brains can't take in an infinite amount of data, and studies have shown that we are usually limited to apprehending 5 to 9 items at the same time. Note that this notion of limited brain bandwidth is essential in UI UX, and it shapes the layout of plenty of websites and apps that we use daily. Similarly, in good video games, creators cut down the info in small enough pieces to allow you to understand and remember it. Then only when this chunk of data has sunk in, does the game expose you to something new. The fact that all of this is wrapped in a really appealing context also pushes you to do it more and overcome the initial difficulties. That's how you can memorize those long patterns and execute incredible massive combos, even though you still can't remember how many states there are in the US for your upcoming test. And also parallel to that, there's of course the question of timing. It's no secret that those games require focus and mastery. Great beat-em-all players are impressive, among other things, by how accurate and flowing they are in the move sequences. This comes from hours of training, and it makes for really nice recordings that feel like an action-packed movie. And this is possible because these games rely heavily on rhythm to keep the game fun and the players engaged. Fights are filled with adrenaline, and they hook you in due to the neatly prepared timers and events that keep on popping everywhere. Kill that enemy, escape this one, finish your combo, deal some additional damage, etc. When done properly, it's just like a dance, only with a sword and evil monsters. So what if Devil May Cry, in all its delicious craziness, was actually a great way to train your memory and timing skills? And please, tell me in the comments. Am I the only one that likes to rewatch all the MC trailers to hear some good beat and see some swirling dance moves? In the meantime, if you have other ideas of games that tell us something without us noticing, go ahead and share it in the comments. As usual, thanks for watching, and take care.